No, no, we're not going to play musical chairs right now. No, no, we're not playing it. No, no, no. You've already been playing it for the past hour. Aren't you bored of it yet? Oh, hello. Oh, look what you made me do. You got me distracted. Anyway, it is story time, of course it is. And this is the place where you get to be in the story. Aha, lovely. So we have part 2 of the Playhouse. I'm sorry this has taken so long to come out. I completely forgot about it, if I'm honest. But Dexter here, didn't you? You reminded me, didn't you? Yeah. Good old Dexter. Well done. He's the reliable one, this one. And he's also great for posting letters because he can just, just flies over. It's great. Never have to pay for a postage stamp ever again. Anyway, here we go. So remember the Playhouse. If you can't remember it, look at part 1. It's quite short, and it was for 4 girls, wasn't it? It was Nona, Azmi, Isha, and Dipti. And today's part 2 is going to include 3 new girls called Naomi, Jianing, and Thimuthu. So here we go. Part 2, the Playhouse. The mechanical playhouse stomped and crashed through the quad. The quad basically is the courtyard where the girls play. Girls were running away, screaming, screeching, arms flailing in the air. No one stopped to notice. Nona, Azmi, Isha and Dipti's heads were poking out of the playhouse window. The 4 friends could only look down in horror at the chaos, helpless and powerless to what was happening below. Nona had tried bashing the button that had turned the machine on in the first place, hoping it would turn it off, but it seemed to be on autopilot. The machine had cut across the quad and reached the outside wall of the main hall, stopping within a metre of it. Something was whirring from the machine's legs. Suddenly, it raised a leg, swinging it powerfully into the wall, flinging huge chunks of brick and mortar into the air. More screams followed, as more girls evacuated the courtyard, except for 3 girls, Naomi, Thimuthu and Jianing, who had decided to hide under a bench earlier. They were now trapped between the machine and the wall. I hope they're okay. Yeah. Before long, the playhouse had smashed a huge hole into the wall, leading into the props room behind the stage. It just so happened that Mr. Gunby, who was dressed in a pink tutu and listening to music through his headphones, was twirling on the spot, pirouetting. He looked up in fright, embarrassed and mortified at the monstrous playhouse now stomping into the room. Ah! He yelled, running out of the fire exit. Meanwhile, as the playhouse scraped its way through the hole in the wall, Thimuthu, Naomi and Jianing came creeping out from underneath the bench. Jianing peered through the gaping hole in the wall. The Playhouse Machine had several items of clothes hanging off it. It looked as if it were trying on different outfits. A fur coat hung from its roof, as well as a few pairs of underpants. Thimuthu, Naomi, whispered Jianing. Look, the machine's distracted. Now's our chance to get away. Makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, quite sensible, Jianing. But what about Nona, Azmi, Isha and Dipti? They're our friends, exclaimed Thimuthu, a little too loudly. Shh, said Naomi, or they'll hear us. Are you mad? Jianing whispered hysterically. Thimuthu, I am not, I repeat, not going in there. With that thing. Wait, Thimuthu interrupted. I think, yes, I have an idea. Her eyes were practically bulging out of their sockets. She was that excited. Follow me. She grabbed Jianing by the hand, and Jianing grabbed Naomi's hand, and then together they climbed through the hole towards the machine. Are they mad? They could hear their friends whispering from the playhouse, but could no longer see them. Somehow, Mr. Gumby's pink tutu had ended up covering the window to the playhouse. The playhouse must have ripped it off from him as he fled. quickly. Grab as many clothes as you can and start tying them together, said Thimuthu. I wonder why she's suggesting that. Jianing looked confused, but Naomi realised what Thimuthu was doing and jolted with excitement. Which then made Jianing jump out of her skin. Jianing poked her in the arm. Hey, don't do that. You scared me. We're going to tie the machine up, aren't we? Announced Naomi, ignoring Jianing's prod. That's right, replied Thimuthu with a smile as she tied a pair of tights and a feather boa together. Like a huge skipping rope made from clothes, she said. Ah, now I get it. Great idea, said Jianing, now grabbing anything she could get her hands on, excited. She started tying 2 pairs of socks together, looking proud of herself. Thimuthu rolled her eyes. Must I do everything by myself? You'll be there all night just using socks. Here. Thimuthu chucked 2 fur coats at her. Tie these together instead, would you? Naomi wasn't much better, though. She was busy trying on a new outfit in front of a mirror. Thimuthu shook her head. Honestly, you 2 are worse than Trisha when she walks past a mirror. Stop getting distracted. Just then, the playhouse suddenly lurched forward, clutching one of the fur coats in Jianing's hands. Jianing froze. Unfree? Fear causing her to shake uncontrollably as she looked up in horror. But the machine didn't seem to notice her, luckily. Naomi grabbed her by the elbow, pulling her into the safety of a pile of wigs. That should do it, said Thimuthu to herself, tugging the last piece of clothes. Psst, you 2, grab the other end, would you? She tossed it towards them. Naomi and Jianing looked at the rope made of clothes, nodding and looking impressed with Thimuthu's efficiency. Ready? Asked Thimuthu. Ready, said Naomi enthusiastically. Ready for what? Asked Jianing. But it was too late for questions. The 3 friends charged towards the playhouse with a battle cry. Yah! That would have scared off an army of Vikings. Well, perhaps not. Anyway, the machine turned to face them, its limbs squeaking and grinding with rust. Mr. Gumby's tutu slipped off from the window to reveal the girls' heads inside peering out. As soon as they saw their 3 friends below charging and screaming towards them, they were shocked beyond words. Naomi, Thimuthu and Jianing wrapped the clothes chain around the machine's ankles, running around and around and around in circles as it began to tighten, tighter and tighter. The playhouse tried to move but couldn't and wobbled from side to side. It was starting to topple over. Look out! Shouted the girls from the playhouse, worried that their friends would be squished like bugs. But just when it looked as if the hulking machine would fall over, a pair of tights in the rope suddenly ripped. That was probably Jianing's fault. Sound effects. Oh, that's for me. And the whole thing started unravelling. The plan had failed. Oh no! Run! Shouted the girls all together. They made a mad dash for the hole in the wall. Whose bright idea was this anyway? Shouted Thimuthu over the machine's booming footsteps now chasing them. Jianing and Naomi replied at the same time. Yours! They shouted just before all 3 of them dived through the hole and back out into the courtyard. As luck would have it, though, when Mr. Gumby's tutu had slipped off from the window, it had caught on the machine's sensors, effectively blinding it. The playhouse careered towards them without slowing down, but missed the hole entirely, smashing another hole in the wall and tumbling over into the quad, leaving a puff of dust and debris in its wake. The girls inside were, thankfully, safe, clambered out and ran to join the others. But the machine was still moving, trying to get back up. Oh, this machine won't never stay down. It was then that Jianing noticed the button on the back of the machine's legs. Look, she pointed. There's a button. I bet you any money it turns the machine off. Well, I'm not going near that thing to find out, said Naomi. Well, you don't have to. I have another idea, said Thimuthu, jumping excitedly before dashing off around the corner. Whoosh! The girls groaned. Oh, not again. Thimuthu returned within seconds, a bag full of balls dragging behind her. The girls looked bemused. Why on earth has she got a bag of balls, boys and girls? What do you think she's going to do with it? Let's find out. I don't think it's time to play now, Thimuthu, said Naomi, shaking her head. But Thimuthu didn't say anything. Instead, she delved into the bag, pulled out a ball, and pelted it at the machine, narrowly missing the button on its leg. Why is she aiming for the button, I wonder? Oh, everyone exclaimed, realising her plan. The next few seconds was utter chaos. Balls flew through the air, clanking and bouncing off the machine's legs, some missing the playhouse entirely. Ooh, whoops, sorry, said Jianing, looking embarrassed. Not a very good aim, have you, Jianing? Oh no, said Thimuthu. There's only one ball left, and it was in Naomi's hands. Unfortunately, she hadn't heard and had already hurled it through the air, her eyebrows furrowed, and her tongue sticking out to one side of her mouth in concentration. Everything happened in slow motion as the ball arced in the air, hitting the button square in the face. She had done it! Boom! Direct hit. Bullseye! Bullseye! Shouted Naomi, fist pumping the air. Yes! The machine immediately shut down, its huge mechanical legs detaching from the playhouse altogether. Kukunk! The girls turned to each other, hugging and cheering and singing. Oh! We did it! They cheered, as the rest of the school filtered into the quad to join in the celebrations. The next day, the playhouse was moved back to its original spot, in the corner of the courtyard. But no one seemed to be playing in there today. I wonder why. Anyway, that was the end. So that was the Playhouse. Part 2 has ended. Did you like that, boys and girls? I hope so. What was your favourite part? What was yours, Dexter? You liked it when they hit the button, yeah? Yeah, well, my personal favourite was probably the pink tutu and Mr. Gumby doing a little pirouette. That was cool. Anyway, you're 3 heroes, you 3. Well, all 7 of you, really. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that one. And we're going to say bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. All right, that'll do, Dexter. Oi, stop it.